Hi everyone, I'm back and I'm feeling fantastic. I have been offline for 3 days because I've been banned for the very first time in my whole career of speaking out. I got banned because I was defending myself against somebody who was trying to tell me that I was lying. And somebody that was trying to tell me that I was a conspiracy theorist. And I didn't know this woman, and I really didn't appreciate what she was saying about me. And so I started to create a boundary, and Facebook didn't like that boundary. So they blocked me, banned me for 3 days. And I've never been banned before, so it was quite an unfamiliar feeling, not being able to get onto the phone and say hello to you guys. But there was a silver lining in this process as well. And I'm grateful that I've just spent 3 days offline. I was able to... Well, hello birds. They're having a heyday up there. I was able to sit with myself and ponder the shit show that's happening on the screen. And I will tell you guys, wow, it's getting hot and heated up here in Australia. Literally and figuratively. They're really pushing out all of their ideas and all of their control. And it's so obvious to see when you have figured this out. And it's so cringeworthy to see, oh my God, they are now targeting individuals and targeting businesses and calling them out to be super spreaders. And it's amazing the fear that's being pumped through the TV. I'm just so grateful that I'm not buying into the lie, and I'm just so grateful that I have knowledge. I have the knowledge that I need to not only survive this place, but to really thrive as well. And that's what this video is going to be about today, is really focusing on how powerful we are. But there is also a journey to becoming powerful. And most people are not on the path of being powerful. Not because of the way you look, or not because of the way you speak, or anything like that. It's because the people who are running the show know how we operate. And they've been programming us for so long. They have created a human species that is living a lie, and we have been programmed throughout our lives. And we've been programmed not to see clearly, and we've been programmed to obey, and we've been programmed to respond to fear. And since I've been on my own for the last 3 days, I've been able to really sit on this and really feel into being alone. And yeah, I'm just here right now. I'm going to share with you what I know about this place, because the sooner we can get through these programs, and the sooner we can break away from these lies that have been shared throughout our whole life, that's when the real beauty begins. That's when we become powerful. And, you know, besides the programming through the news and the programming through the education system, we have been We have been manipulated into thinking a certain way is the right way of life here on this planet. And I'm going to take it down to the level of having a family and the whole purpose of creating babies has even been lied to or manipulated. You see, people think that the idea of the world is to come together, find a person, fall in love, have a baby, get the White House, go to college. That's not how babies are supposed to be made. People are not supposed to come together and procreate just for the sake of creating. And we've been forced into a belief that that's what we're supposed to be doing, and that our families are the focal point of the relationships. And I don't believe we are meant to harness our relationships with other people on this planet, because we have been kept away from nature for so long, and we are forced to mingle with people on this planet. Even if you don't know these people, we're forced to live in the same neighborhood. We're supposed to co-collaborate on different laws and how we're supposed to be managed. And the truth is, the only relationship that's truly the most important relationship that you should harness is the one with nature. And I always thought that being alone was a negative thing, because I'm here on my own here in Australia, and before I had all of you guys, I was lonely. I thought I was less of a person because I didn't have any friends and I didn't have any connections over here, and I didn't get anybody that truly got me. And I looked at this process of being alone as a negative. And it wasn't until I really forced myself to get into nature and to really be one, not only with the trees, but my cat, Moo Moo, and the birds. And when I let go of being alone and reshaped my mind in thinking, actually, we were brought into this world on our own. We can't have any other person to save us. We need to rely on ourselves and the powers that we have been born with to survive. Now, if you're a little baby, of course you need parents to survive, but if you're an adult, your number one priority should not be to find somebody and to get married. It should not be to go and get pregnant and to have babies. That's not what our goal is here on this planet. Because every time you speak to somebody else or hang out with somebody else, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because people get a lot from people. You know, we need to connect, but we need to connect for different purposes. And I think a lot of people feel lonely, and that's why they go out, or that's why they look for a partner. And if you're feeling lonely, that's a sign that you haven't figured this out. Loneliness is the right feeling that people should be having right now. Because if it wasn't for my journey of being completely on my own, I would have not had the time to research, to build my brain and to build my knowledge. And I also wouldn't have had the opportunity to really sit in nature on my own and to figure out what my powers are. It takes a long time to cultivate your powers. And you can't do that when you're talking to other people or when you're out drinking beer. It takes a lot of alone time to become strong. But the trees and the plants and the birds and the cats, they have been put on this planet for a reason. And the minute that you start focusing your attention on nature, instead of the man-made construct that has been created through the Matrix, you really start to understand how powerful your brain is. When you wipe out all of the information and you wipe out all of the programming and you start from scratch and you implement the concepts of affirmations and positive thinking and taking positive action in the right direction. It's only then, when you figured out the importance of being solo, that you really become powerful. So a lot of people are on this journey and they're alone because they don't have any friends that know what they're talking about. They're on this journey alone. Figuring this out is not an easy process. It's not for the lighthearted either. So if you figured this out, you're already strong. You're already on the path to total freedom. But there's a lot of programming that we need to unlearn. And even your personal relationships need to be re-examined. Even personal relationships with your family need to be re-examined. Because there's a lot of people out there that will try to bring you down, and having the acceptance of others is really where your doubt can come from. Oh, this person doesn't like me, or oh, I'm going to piss somebody off. And it really doesn't matter what happens on the outside. It really, really, truly only matters with what's going on the inside. And it's funny because I turn on the TV and there's a whole world of chaos out there. If I turn on the TV, we're at war. Military's coming in. We're going to have the forced vaccines. And in reality, none of that is true. At least for me, none of that is true. There's no military here. There's no masks here. It's only when I walk into their world, the Matrix, that I'm faced with the programming and faced with the fear. So one of our solutions to become powerful is to be alone. And if you are alone and you think it's a bad thing, that mindset needs to change. Because it's only when you are alone that you're forced to figure this out. Before the TV came, before government came, people got along on their own. People were in nature and they were figuring this out. But we have been led down a path, starting with getting married, finding your mate, finding that Prince Charming that will take you away. And, the idea of having children, that's all wonderful. But what's the point of having a child when they're not going to be able to participate in the Matrix? Meaning they're not going to go to school. They're not going to really even have a fair chance, because they've already hijacked the birthing process. They've already hijacked the beautiful process of bringing a newborn into the world. So unless you are completely awake to the corruption, and unless you have a tribe of people already co-creating the future that you want your child to be brought into, the concept of finding a mate and having a baby is just another program. And you will find probably 70% of the people who have been married aren't truly happy. Because being married to one person is not natural. Being with somebody for the rest of your life, that's a program that's been put into our world. And it's a contract between two people that is what's entrapping us. And a lot of people are stuck in a situation right now because they have relied on somebody else for their finances, for their shelter. They have put all of their power into their husband, or the other way around. The husband has put all of the power in the mom or their wife. And the reality is, we all need to be powerful. We all need to stand independently. And I believe that's the first sign of division that they've programmed us, is through the marriage process. Because you take away your power when you merge with somebody else. And I'm not saying that the people who are married and that are happy are not a beautiful relationship. And that's your choice if you want to be with somebody. But if you're not also figuring out how you're powerful on your own, and if you're not independently powerful with or without your partner, then you have been hijacked from your own personal powers. It's just another facade that has you entrapped. So, if you are alone right now and you're feeling lonely, that's a very positive sign. Because that means that you have all the time in the world to not only figure this out, but to start to hone in on your power and start to learn the relationship with this wonderful, beautiful place that we call Earth. Because when you come into nature, there are no viruses. There is no military. There is no guns. It's just cicada singing and birds chirping. And there's the space that we need vibrationally to feel what the truth is and to really see clearly. So as we start moving in a new direction, because the only option we have is to walk in a new direction, but we have to unlearn everything that we have been taught. And one of the core things that we all need to start to remember is that we have been put into this world on our own. This is a solo journey. You cannot rely on anybody else for anything. And if you have children right now, they are relying on you. But if you're living the lie, they'll soon be the property of the state. So the sooner you educate your children on the importance of being solo, being on your own, having this as a personal journey, the minute that they figure that out, that's when the strength can start. And it's funny because I had a session over the weekend, a past life regression session, and my client was saying, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like there's something wrong with me. And I said, well, hang on a second. You figured this out. I mean, sure, you're still living at home. And sure, you spend a lot of time at home. But it's not like you're spending a lot of time watching the news. And it's not like you're playing video games. See, we have been programmed to think that if we don't leave after college, or sorry, after high school, and if we don't get that 9-to-5 job, then we are a failure. And I'm here to say that's not true. We aren't supposed to be working 9 to 5. We are supposed to be in nature. We're supposed to be figuring this out at the beach, in the forest, wherever you find is the most comfortable place to be. That's where you need to be right now. And being in nature and going to the beach and just sitting is actually doing something. I mean, I have moved into into nature, and I spend a lot of time at the beach, and I spend a lot of time in nature, and I'm not doing anything but reconnecting with my teachers and learning about how nature is there for me. How can I tap into these beautiful plants? How can I talk to myself and give myself guidance? And how do I become not fearful from any of these external issues that are coming? Well, it's all a mental thing, folks. It's everything that we have to do is on the inside. And the only way that we can do this is if we're on our own. So, over the next few months, year, I believe the first step would be to be on your own. Now, you might be in a relationship and that's wonderful, but there needs to be a divide. Like, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you've raised 3 children, and your husband goes out to work, that is not a healthy relationship. Every single person in every relationship needs to be self-sufficient. And then the self-sufficient people need to come together in a community, and we need to work together collaboratively for our needs. And our needs are food, shelter, but also making this world a wonderful place. We've got a lot of rebuilding to do, and that's where we need to be our focus right now. The friend, my client said, but I'm spending every waking moment of my career on the computer. And normally I would say, yeah, that's not the right place to be. But his expertise is in cryptocurrency. And I said, well, hang on a second. If you're learning about cryptocurrency, we need you to be in front of the screen. We need you to be educating yourself on this, because nobody else is doing this right now. You become the subject matter expert on crypto, and then when that time comes where we need your skills, you'll be the person in the village that's educating people on crypto. Or if you're somebody that loves to garden and you've got a real wonderful green thumb, not everybody has that passion of gardening. But if you've gone through the motions of setting up a garden and you're doing it successfully, that's where your attention needs to be. That's a solo process. Learning about crypto is a solo process. We grow when we are on our own. So being alone is one of the first things I believe we should strive for. If you're in a relationship that's not serving you, end it. If you're in a marriage that's not serving you, end it. And yeah, I don't believe people should be together if they're not in love. And especially if one of the people are leaning on the other, and that's why they don't want to leave. It's because they're They're not going to survive being there on their own. So we're at a point right now where anything's going to happen to you or to your loved ones. So we're on shaky ground right now with everybody on the planet. Our relationships are all shaky. Our relationship with government is definitely shaky. The only thing that's not going to lie to you, steal from you, and enforce a jab or force poisons in you are the trees and the birds. And once you reconnect with nature and you become powerful in your mind, then you can conquer anything. You know, there is a whole world out there that is full of fear. I mean, right now we've got a super spreader spreading so quickly, and they said that this is not going away. We can expect coronavirus to stick around for the next 2 years, is what I heard on the news yesterday. No, you guys. We need to unlearn everything that we have learned, turn off the TV, stop listening to government, and walk in a new direction. And that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years. With my own parental alienation, I have been forced to be on my own, forced to look at my shadow work, forced to do the education and the learning about this planet, learning about my gifts, stepping into my secret sauce. All of that happened because I was on my own. And now I can help others because I'm strong. We need everybody to get to where I and several other thousands of people who have figured this out are. So once we know how powerful we are in our minds, and once we know we can co-create anything that we want, that's when we got our solutions. So I mean, considering that the shit on the TV is getting really, really serious right now, I have never felt more powerful, more secure, more content, and more in love than I do right now. And I just want everybody to feel this. It's like I have completely taken away the power that they have tried to take from me. And I have just cultivated it and harnessed it and grew it. And now my power is so powerful that they can't touch me. And they know this. They know they can't touch people who are in states of love and who don't have any fear. They know how the brain operates. And they're using fear to entrap us. And they're using relationships like the government, like the family unit. They're using these relationships as weapons against us. So the only way to fight that is to get back to your own relationship with Mother Nature. And I'm not saying don't stop loving your family. I'm not saying that. Love your family, but love yourself first. And loving yourself first means knowing where you need to grow. And you won't know where you need to grow unless you have spent a lot of time on your own. So I encourage you to start spending time on your own. And tell your partner, don't take it personally. I mean, you becoming stronger is only going to make your relationships stronger. But if you are weak inside of your relationship, well, then you're going to be gone in just a few months' time. You can't rely on anybody right now. The only person you can rely on is yourself. Well, you can rely on me too, you guys, because I am here for you. I mean, I can't be there physically for you, but I can be here for support. And I was able to read all of my messages, and I can't tell you, I get messages in telling people that they love me. And I just want you guys to know that I love you. I wouldn't be able to be here without you. And I can't even put into words how much I appreciate the people who are speaking out right now. Because that's a sign. Sure, we may not have figured it all out. It's going to take a lifetime to unlearn all this. But if you have found your voice and you are saying, no, I'm not going to wear a mask, even if you're telling your family that no, we're not going to wear masks anymore, that is a step of empowerment. That is a step of taking back control, taking back your own power. And it's almost like a snowball effect. You have to have trust. You got to trust that this is going to work, and it will. I promise you it will. But you also have to have time, and you have to have patience, and everything will unfold in the way that it's meant to. You have to trust that the universe knows exactly what's going on, and our answers are here in nature. So I encourage you to embrace being on your own and taking the time that you need to be in solitude, because that's when all of the work that needs to happen happens. It's called shadow work. We need to process these feelings. We have to process anger. We have to process resentment. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes and the lighter you feel. You know, I've had a lot of friends and family leave me because of what it is that I speak out about. But I feel so much lighter that I don't have that dense energy of the lie in my life. I don't want friends who are going to propagate the lie. So for me, I'd rather have nobody in my world than have somebody that's living a lie. And that's why I chose to start speaking out. I remember telling my father, I don't care what people think about me. This was in 2015. I'm going to start speaking out. Now, of course, this was not about the plot. This was about cancer cures and becoming healthy. But ever since I found that little tiny voice, and I honored it. That's what it was. It was an honoring of my voice. That voice that's meant to be stayed silent, the program that says you can't speak out, that's just a program. And I will say, the minute you start talking your power is when all the magic begins. And there's nothing to fear at all, because they've pushed this false reality of fear into your brain. And I'm here to tell you, it's just a false, there's nothing to fear. And you know what? I don't even fear death, you guys. I am so excited to die. I know that sounds really crazy. But we have been told that death is such a bad thing. And we have been feared. We've been told that death is the ultimate, don't do that or you're going to die. Don't do that or you're going to, get sent to jail. And, jail is probably worse than death. But, I mean, what an amazing thing. We get to relive this world based on how we live this world. So I'm going to go out, and I think I'll probably go out quite soon here. Well, maybe not, but I mean, the sooner the better in my world. But it's just because I don't want to live the lie anymore, you guys. I don't want to live this lie. I'd rather die knowing that I stood up every single day and I used my voice and I became powerful and I figured this out. I'd rather die accomplished than a fool. And everybody's going to die. We know that. That's the inevitable. So don't you want to die knowing that you got high marks? You figured this school out? And it's, you know, I have had so much trauma in my life that I can draw upon. But not everybody is going to have trauma to figure this out. So I hope that you can use my lessons to evolve yourself and take those steps to really build an internal dialogue that you are the leader of your ship. And there's nobody else that's going to rule you or govern you or tell you what to do. You are the person. You are the king or the queen. You are the captain. You are your own ruler. Nobody else. Not the people from the TV. Not the government. And natural law will sort out all the evildoers. If you just follow the rules of nature, no harm, don't steal, honor your contracts. It's so simple, you guys. Life does not need to be complicated. They've complicated this. It's so simple. So that's what this is all about, you guys, is becoming powerful. And I am so excited for this journey. Everything is happening as it should. And the more we visualize and truly trust that our visions will come true, that's when we are stepping into our power. You don't even need to experience this to know that it's true. I'm telling you that this is true. Start visualizing the future like it was now. Start visualizing that you are in nature, even if you have to put on, paint the walls as a garden or a jungle, and turn off the TV and start manifesting your future. Start talking to the trees on your wall. If you're painting trees on your wall, start talking to them, because you're actually talking to yourself. You're talking to your higher consciousness. They have not told us anything about the way that this world operates. We have to figure it out on our own. We're not going to figure it out if we're watching TV and if we're hanging out with other people. This is a solo journey, and it starts within. Okay, and I'm just going to finish off, you guys. I have so much coming through the pipe. I've been able to just finalize a few things over the last few days. And I've got some wonderful news coming. I'm going to start interviewing people. And I've got a few Zoom calls coming up in the near future. I'm gathering people and organizing. So, yeah, you guys, I just want you to know that I just appreciate you so much. I love you so much. And I could not do this without you. So if you are awake right now, let's not talk about the issues anymore. Let's talk about our future. Let's talk about how wonderful and powerful we are as co-creators. And let's get back into nature. It's wonderful, you guys. Get yourself a cat. Cats are amazing. Being in nature is the answer. And that's how we're going to become powerful. All right, you guys, I am so happy to be back. I love you so much. And if you have any questions or if you want to add to this, I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye for now.